I think I figured out a way to beat the Kobayashi Maru test without cheating. So with the upcoming Starfleet Academy show that's coming up shortly enough, it's got me thinking about a couple of things that they're more than likely going to include. Obviously the Kobayashi Maru test has to be one of them, which I think is a good idea for any kind of character development early on in the show, because it will show you the kind of people that you're dealing with really early on. So, Kobayashi Maru scenario is a no-win scenario.
Captain, I'm getting something on the distress channel.
On speakers.
Imperative. This is the Kobayashi Maru. 19 periods out of all Tier 6. We have struck a gravitic mine and have lost all power. Our hull is penetrated and we have sustained many casualties.
This is the Starship Enterprise. Your message is breaking up. Can you give us your coordinates?
Where you receive a distress call and are called to rescue a ship called the Kobayashi Maru, which has been trapped behind enemy lines in the neutral zone and is going to be captured and destroyed by the Klingons, right? So,
Crew of 81, 300 passengers.
Damn. Mr. Sulu, plot an intercept course.
May I remind the captain that if a starship enters the zone...
I'm aware of my responsibilities, mister.
there's one thing that's always bothered me since this test was first introduced in Wrath of Khan, right? It's a really simple thing, but it's always bugged me when I see it. So you have a choice to either enter the neutral zone, breaking the treaty and risking a war, or leave the Kobayashi Maru to its fate, sacrifice the crew, and you don't break the treaty and you go on your merry way, right? Most captains will attempt to rescue the ship. Basically, the test is designed as a no-win scenario to test what your command level is in the face of certain death, right? The thing that bugged me in Wrath of Khan is when Saavik declares that they're in over their heads and asks Sulu to get them out of there. Sulu then says, "I'll try, Captain," and nothing happens.
Sensors indicate 3 Klingon cruisers bearing 316 Mark IV, closing fast.
Visual. Battle stations. Activate shields.
Shields activated.
Inform the Klingons we are on a rescue
They're
mission.
jamming all the frequencies, Captain.
Klingons on attack course and closing.
We're
Klingons
over our
on
heads.
attack
Mr.
course
Sulu,
and
get us out of
closing.
here.
I'll try, Captain.
Alert. Klingon torpedoes activated. Alert.
Evasive action. Engineering, damage report.
Main energizer hit, Captain.
Engage auxiliary power. Prepare to return fire.
Shields collapsing, Captain.
Fire all phasers.
No power to the weapons, Captain.
Captain, it's no use. We're dead in space.
Activate escape pods. Send out the log buoy. All hands abandon ship. Repeat. All hands abandon ship.
All right, open her up.
The Klingon ships fire on the Enterprise and leave it dead in space, and they're all fucked. Okay, so this got me thinking. Why didn't Sulu instantly go to warp? We see the test again in Into Darkness, where Kirk quite obviously reprograms the simulator and acts all nonchalant and cocky, and it's quite clearly been hacked.
Our ship's being hit. Shields at 60%.
I understand.
Or should we, I don't know, fire back?
No.
Of course not.
Gonna push up to C.
What is this? What's going on? Armed photons, prepare to fire on the Klingon warbirds.
Yes, sir. Jim, their shields are still up.
Are they?
No, they're not.
Fire on all enemy ships. 1 photon each should do. Let's not waste ammunition.
Target locked and acquired on all warbirds. Firing.
All ships destroyed, Captain.
Side note, Into Darkness kind of paints Kirk in a almost criminal light for doing this, whereas Wrath of Khan, Kirk says that he got a commendation for original thinking. But anyway, here's how I beat the Kobayashi Maru, right? Specifically, I'm going to use one maneuver. The Picard maneuver. In this point in history, it hadn't been done yet, However, a similar type of maneuver was done by Captain Lorca in Discovery using the mycelial mushroom network. Whatever the fuck that was. Which got me thinking, what if you combined the two into one maneuver, right? So, here's the Picard maneuver, for those of you who don't know. So this is your ship's starting position. Your enemy ship is in front of you, let's say. You kick it into high warp for a fraction of a second, right? And you do a dead stop right in front of the ship you're going to attack. The light from your first position hasn't reached the enemy ship before the light from your final position, where you've just dead stopped, therefore making it appear that there's two ships at the same time, right?
Lock on tractor beam.
So it confuses your enemy's targeting long enough for you to get a shot off and take their shields out or whatever, and whatever. Now there's one more element to my strategy of rescuing the crew members before warping away, yeah? And it's this. Near warp transporting. Yeah? There's an episode of TNG where the Enterprise performs a near warp transport for absolutely no reason. Like, it was really dangerous and they could have all been killed so easily. So near warp beaming, the ship is in warp, traveling along warp, drops out of warp for a fraction of a second, beams people down, and then instantly warps off. Right? Now it's dangerous. It got Deanna Troi stuck in a wall for a fraction of a second and there was no need for it. But it puts the last piece of my puzzle together. So here's how I beat the Kobayashi Maru, right? So, Kobayashi Maru is stuck behind enemy lines, yeah? Drifting away. The Enterprise knows that there's going to be Klingon warbirds all over the place. The Enterprise, instead of coming in and just sitting there like a big lump of cheese, realizing they're outnumbered, outgunned and getting destroyed, they do two things. They warp in. As soon as they warp in, they're met with warbirds on all flanks. They drop their shields. They instantly begin a series of Picard maneuvers. They warp over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, every few seconds. They're just warping all over the place. While they're doing this, right, while they're warping all over the place, confusing the Klingons, they're beaming people off the ship, right? Near warp beaming. They can do it in a fraction of a second, so all they need is a few seconds. And there's about 200 or 300 crew members. They could probably get 5 a pop. They get all the crew members and they just warp straight back out. Does that make any sense? And that's how you beat the no-win scenario.